Hey everyone. I saw this video recently. It was done by Colion Noir, and I have a link to the video in the description. I think it's definitely worth checking out. And he shows this clip of some TV show where it has four guys who are like in their 20s interviewing four women in their 20s. And there's one in particular where he's interviewing her, and they bring up having guns in the house. And she says, "Oh no, I wouldn't want." She wouldn't want guns in the house. And he said, "Well, what if there was like a home invasion? You know, when you want your boyfriend or husband to have one?" She goes, "Well, no, he doesn't need them." And it's it's kind of laughable. He says, "Well, what if there's 4 or 5 home invaders?" And she said, "Well, just because they come in your house doesn't mean you should kill them." Yes, think about that now. 4 or 5 guys come into your house in the middle of the night. Why are they coming there? They're coming there probably to steal something that you have, and in the meantime, if they have to physically harm you or kill you to get what they want, they will do so. But let's not harm them. So the guys who were interviewing the woman were just like taken aback by the whole thing that this woman could be so absolutely stupid, because I can't think of a better term for her. So basically, Colion Noir goes back and he starts kind of criticizing it, saying, "Well, it's the man's job," because I'm pretty traditional, so I kind of agree with this, to make sure that he protects the house, he protects his wife or children and whatnot. So that's his job, and he has to make sure that he has the tools for the job. If you have to go trim the weeds in the yard, you're not going to do it with a pair of scissors. You're going to do it with a trimmer. You got the right tool, a good tool for the job, and you do the job right. Now, this made me think about a story. About maybe 8 or 9 years ago, I went to a gun range with 2 acquaintances. One of them is someone who really enjoys firearms, especially antique firearms, older firearms. The other person said they were politically conservative. Matter of fact, I met this person in a political function, but didn't really seem so. And he was actually very easily swayed on stuff. So he went to the gun range with us, and I took like maybe 3 or 4 handguns with me, and the other guy brought one with him. And he really, really enjoyed shooting this handgun. Not only did he enjoy shooting this is a Bond Arms Derringer, by the way. Okay? And for those of you who don't know, this is a single action, unloaded, by the way. This is a single action Derringer. So it only holds 2 shots. So this is like the anti-assault weapon, if you think about it. Only holds 2 rounds, no magazines, single action, like I said, fun to shoot. But anyway, I digress. He loved this handgun, and he wanted to get one. So he was asking me how much it cost and where he could get one and all this. And he said, I'm gonna tell my fiance about it." Well, he told his fiance, and she told him he couldn't have one. She didn't want a gun in the house. So a few days later, I said, "Hey, did you tell your fiance about the gun?" He goes, "Yeah, I told her, but she doesn't want a gun in the house." Now, he wanted a gun in the house, but she didn't want a gun in the house. And I got to tell you, I mean, something like this Derringer is not the ideal self-protection tool, I admit. It's very cool for the range. I got to tell you, I love shooting this at the range. But it's not your ideal self-protection tool. But you know what? It certainly beats having nothing, okay? And I kind of tried to tell him, so, get the gun. And he's like, no, she doesn't want it in the house. I guess he was afraid to cross her. And that kind of leads me to something I'm thinking about. My wife, she's not like a gun fan. She shot them at the range, and she sees the value in them, and she's pro-gun. But if she would never go buy one with her own money, she doesn't have that kind of interest in it. If she never shot one again, I really don't think she'd care. She believes people should have the right to have them, and that's about it. but she doesn't mind that they're there. But I got to tell you, as a traditional male, I do believe it's the man's job to make sure that he takes care of the home, he takes care of his spouse, he takes care of the family, the pets, everybody. That's your job. And if something goes on and there's a problem, you need to solve that problem. Now, most of us are pretty lucky. We're probably never going to have, the majority anyway, are never going to have anyone break into their house while they're home. And if someone does break into your house, there's a good chance they're not going to be armed, or it'll be one person. The chances of multiple people who are armed coming in your house, it's actually, I mean, unless you live in a really crummy neighborhood, it's not very good. It's actually like where I live in probably, if not the safest town in my state, one of the safest towns in my state. Some stuff like that would be highly, highly unlikely here. But you know what? Realistically, there's always that chance. You never know. You can never say no. I want to be prepared for that. Because you know what? It's also very, very unlikely that your house is going to burn down and that you're going to lose everything. But there's a good chance that if you own your house, you have insurance. There's a really good chance that when you drive to work today, you're going to arrive safely. Then you're going to drive home and you're going to arrive safely. But you have car insurance. You're probably not going to get sick tomorrow, but you have health insurance. Well, you're probably not going to be broken into, but guess what? It's good to have some protection insurance, and that's what this is. This is protection insurance. And you know what? I think that if you have a wife, or let's put it this way, if you have a wife who doesn't understand that, try and explain it. If she doesn't get it, just get it anyway. Just get it anyway, because you know what? That's your job, and you need to make sure you do your job properly. As far as a girlfriend goes, you know what? If you want to get a firearm and she doesn't think that's a good idea, get it anyway. If she's going to break up with you for that, let her go. Because you know what? You should have it. If you have an interest in owning it and you want to own it, that's your right. The government's not going to stop you. So you know what? You shouldn't let your girlfriend stop you either. It just makes no sense. And sometimes these things come from ignorance and people not understanding stuff. And if that's the case, educate. Say, what is it that you don't like about firearms? And a lot of it's just based in ignorance. So sometimes you can address it that way. Now, I would like to add, so I know some guys are just bossy jerks who's like, everything's going to be my way or the highway. I am the exact opposite of that. My wife can tell me she wants to have the house, painted pink and purple plaid with bunnies on it. I just don't care. There are very few things where I'm like, you know what? No, it's got to be this way. It has to be this way. And that's one of those things. Now, like I said, she doesn't mind it at all. But even if she did, it's something that I feel is a necessity. Just like we have fire extinguishers. I feel it's a necessity. Again, I hope we never use them. But then again, I also have a lot of first aid stuff that I'll probably never use. But you know what? I'm really glad it's there. So just like I'm glad that the first aid equipment's there, and I'm glad that the fire extinguisher's there, I'm glad that the firearms are there. Because while I'm hoping they never have to be used for anything other than recreation, they're there. Okay? And if you think of it from that scope, if your wife or girlfriend said to you, "Oh, I don't want fire extinguishers," no, we should have. There's no reason to have a fire extinguisher. That's kind of crazy, kind of stupid. If she would say to you, "No, we don't need any type of first aid stuff in this house. That's ridiculous. We're not going to get hurt." Really? So you know that you're never going to get a bad cut or any other type of an accident or a burn? Well, that's fantastic, Nostradamus. Well, you know what? You probably won't get a bad injury, you probably won't have a fire, and you probably won't have a robbery in your house. But you know what? It's really good to have this insurance. So don't let someone tell you that you're not supposed to have it. Find someone who appreciates your planning and your desire to make sure that yourself, them, and everyone else is protected. Okay, I am going to sign off right now. Good talking to you once again. If you like this video or videos like this, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Talk to you later.